everyone to another edition of Vows and Vendors. How you doing, beautiful?
That is your pickup line?
Yeah. Well, I don't really need any more pickup lines. You already married and stuff, so.
Oh.
But a compliment.
Oh, thanks. Very good.
You're good. It's been a minute.
It has been.
Yeah.
Why, Joshua? Do you want to tell the lovely viewers why?
Why it's been a minute since we had a podcast.
We've been busy with weddings. That's like,
Life as well.
Life as well.
We have a new look studio as well.
Yeah, new studio.
Yeah, so just like as she said, July has been July-in for us.
Yeah.
A lot of
wedding
weddings.
Season.
Yeah. And so there's just a lot. But we're back. That's the most important thing.
Yes.
Yeah. We're back with a bang. Obviously, you know how we do. We have a guest on this podcast, another vendor as it pertains to weddings. And with us, we have Saurav Balliram. What's going on, bro?
Hello. I'm good. How are you guys doing? Busy?
Yeah, busy as usual. And
as
you?
you said, wedding season.
Yep.
Wedding season is upon us, so.
I feel like Trinidad wedding season is January to December. It might get a little busy at some months, but like right through is like in the States. You know, the States has like a particular 2-3 months that is
weddings.
Yeah. But Trinidad is
Right, true.
Yeah, I don't mind though. I'm not
we
complaining.
cannot complain.
Yeah, I agree. No complaints. I think my wedding season is from April. Sometimes you have some early jobs in April. April to about October.
Right.
Yeah, nothing much ever happens unless it's like the graduations, the corporates, the clubs and the parties. So yeah, definitely the June to November is for me. Yeah.
Surprisingly for us, December.
December.
I thought that would have been like a slow month, but at least
so
for us.
December, but I'm yet to see somebody do like a full-on Christmas wedding.
I agree. I had one December wedding, pretty big. They actually had a party for Mehndi night.
Okay.
Crazy Bollywood style.
Yeah.
No Christmas element. But it was pretty big. It was had people on the road, a bar on the road, a very premium juve. If you think about it.
Right.
Coconut vendor, bar staff, finger food, and a whole party on the roads. And then there's also a party on the inside.
Okay.
Full celebration.
Yeah.
Wow. But we're doing all this talking and the people don't even know what type of vendor we deal with. Well, for those of you who don't actually know who he is. So, Saurav, tell us exactly what parts of the wedding industry do you cover?
Well, I cover the entertainment side of it, both formal and party. So the hosting of a wedding, the formal part of the wedding, getting the crowd engaged, entertaining while everyone is eating, enjoying the wedding music, engaging the bride and groom. As well as the more popular side, the party animal side of getting everyone to have fun and enjoy and celebrate with the persons involved, which is the bride and groom. So that's definitely one of my favorite parts.
I was just going to ask which one you prefer. Do you find it hard to hype people up, or people are generally responsive to you?
It depends. It depends on one factor, to be honest, the alcohol intake. The alcohol intake definitely helps me a lot.
Right.
If the alcohol intake is low, then there's a lot of the transition from the formal to the party side, the party aspect of it is a bit harder and longer. But eventually it happens.
So it takes maybe a little more work on your part to kind of get the crowd to that.
Definitely a lot of more work, time. So one of my secrets is I will prompt them to drink more. Let's top your cups up.
Right.
And get ready for the party segment.
You're letting out your secrets.
Yeah. the party segment already started. They just didn't know yet. So it just takes longer. But moving on to the party aspect of it, is you really need to come with the energy. And something that I think all MCs or hosts feed off of is the energy of the crowd.
Right.
So it's very difficult to go to look at a crowd, everybody sitting, trying to digest their food, uncle and buttoney blazer and sit down like this. And then to get that crowd into a full-blown party, it takes a lot. So you really need to come with some type of energy and add to the ambience and get people ready to to have a good time and to celebrate
Yeah.
a special moment. So
Yeah.
for the bride and the groom, it's sometimes you see the look on their faces where people doesn't want to dance, and they will get up and try to get people to dance, have a good time, take a drink, take a picture. So a lot of work does, people think it's very easy, but it's
But
I don't think it looks easy at all.
thank you, I appreciate
I
that.
don't think it looks
But you're like a all-in-one package in a sense, because for me, how I used to see it, like I would see someone who's hosting, but
Right.
then the actual person that's with the DJ is like a different person.
Yes.
You can handle both.
I handle both. Most of my jobs so far would come in afterwards, but then there's also jobs that you host and then you transition on to the party. So
Right.
sometimes
Okay.
even if I'm booked for the party element, I would, speak to the host, get a good transition, let people know that this is what I came
You're taking
for.
over.
We're taking
Yeah.
over gradually to really enhance the event and to ensure
Right.
people enjoy themselves.
But as it pertains to the hosting aspect, is it that you really need to know the couple really well to be a good host, or how does that work? Because like I know a lot of people may just their cousin or their whoever is a
they
best
ask their
friend,
brother,
right?
best friend, yes,
But
definitely.
if it is you don't know the couple, how do you actually mesh that where people still have a really good time, and it seems as though you're best friends with them as well?
Yeah, well, definitely. I think there's two things when it comes to choosing your host. So if you want the personal element, you ask your best friend. And there's no problem in that. People really want someone they could resonate with, where the host is known by almost everybody at the different tables.
Right.
And you get that personal element, you get that touch of sentiment, because they would also know when these people started dating, when they got engaged, all the inside jokes with the bridal party, the groomsmen, the maids of honors. And then when you look at that now, it's like that person would have those elements, but they may not be able to entertain and bring that level of professionalism, which is completely fine. That is also enjoyable. I've been to weddings where the host really, even at my younger age, you see the host is somebody close to them, a relative, a friend of the family, and it still goes well. But when you hire someone who is trained and is a professional, I think you need to understand the couple. So whoever is handling the booking, you want to maybe meet with them, ask a couple of questions, and that's really the key element. You want to ask the right questions to therefore understand who the bride and groom are and who their families are. And not just one side, both sides of the family, both bride and groom. Understand if there's relatives from away coming down.
Right.
Who are these relatives? Who are the relatives that loves to party? Who are the ones that, are good friends of the families as well? So therefore you get a good understanding of who are your guests and who are the main people outside of the guests of the wedding.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then a host might, the friend of the family or whoever personal connection is hosting, when they encounter a slow period, a dead period when it's low engagement, when you hire a professional person, they are able to think on the spot.
Yeah, take it up,
Experience
yeah.
really plays a big part of
Yeah.
it to really get the
Yeah.
crowd going and to even have a discussion, pinpoint people, so that's the element. And as I said, both is fine. It's just a matter of choice and
Right.
what it is you want to bring to your wedding.
Okay.
Yeah. At the end of the day, a wedding is a very personalized type
Very.
experience.
Very.
So you have to know what you want
Correct.
and make the proper decision when selecting
Definitely.
Yeah,
vendors.
for sure.
Yeah.
Which one you prefer though? Hosting or the party aspect?
He just said
I
party.
think the party aspect.
He said party.
I missed that one.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
clearly.
No, the hosting is good. Hosting is good, and then the benefits of hosting and then going to the party, people respond to you way better than when you just show up an hour
There's
before.
a reward in that.
Sorry,
It's,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
it's
There's a
rewarding
rewarding,
because you're connected with the audience.
And then,
yeah.
Yeah. So you ever had like while hosting, like a joke just didn't hit?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, definitely I'm not a comedian.
Right.
But to do this, you also need to be
Some
you
sort
need
of
to have
humor,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
entertaining aspect to
Yeah.
make sure people is looking, paying attention, listening, and engaging. So there is this one time really, really big wedding, and I was just transitioning from the host. Now the host was a minister. He was hosting his nephew's wedding.
Okay.
And I was honestly just transitioning on, and looking for opening line. The most difficult thing is thinking on the spot, what
Yeah,
am I going
yeah.
to say when you take that microphone? And I went up and I said, Where is my good-looking people? Make some noise. Crowd stood still. I was honestly, I got lost for a couple seconds, and I guess experience takes over.
Yeah.
So I walked down from the stage, and my better-looking people, how we feeling?
Right,
and
right.
the crowd went
Then
up.
they kind of, okay,
It went up. So that I was shocked.
Yeah, yeah.
Normally
I
that
mean,
is not-
that gives you at least some sort of response.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, good-looking people, how y'all feeling? Nothing.
Right.
Better-looking people, how y'all feeling? And
Yeah.
no, it's crazy. You're ready to celebrate with X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
and then they were, more engaging. So I guess
Yeah.
experience does really play.
Yeah,
That's the
definitely.
thing, like you said, there's a difference between hiring a professional as opposed to someone who's your friend. Either way, it's fine,
It's
but
yeah.
there's certain things to take into consideration when making
Definitely.
that choice.
Yeah.
And I think as well too, what makes your job, I wouldn't say hard, but it's probably a challenge that you would deal with, is the different demographics you have at a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
So you may have the Gen Zs, that may be a lot easier to get in, but then you have the, as they say, the uncle who just finished eating now on button.
Yeah.
How are you going to get both? Like, so give me some, like, how does that work, like to mesh those two?
Well, definitely with the Gen Zs, if you look at the weddings population, I think about 60 to maybe 75% would be the older persons, and they'll just be the nephews, the friends, depending on the age of the couple as well. That would tell what type of crowd you would have. So for me, there's a joke with a couple of my DJs that they like to make is I'm the tanty specialist. The tanties love me. So I think going strength to strength, I would use that as my strength to really address the aunties,
Yeah.
the older folks, the folks who traveled and came to the wedding. And that normally goes a long way.
Yeah.
Honestly, it does. And then addressing them, you tell them they look young, they look great, and they love that. And then, persons my age might just think it's a cheap come on or something, but it's just that, you want to engage and make
Yes.
everyone happy. So for the Gen Zs now and the younger persons, even persons my age, while they would want to hear the newer music or the throwbacks from their time
Right.
a little more
Yeah.
often, it's not really the most recommended thing. No, that's depending on the age of the couple,
The couple, okay.
and what they requested. So it's a lot of maneuvering with myself as well as the DJ that I'm working with. Most times it's DJ Ari. You guys will normally see me
Yep.
with her most times. So she also has a job of, gauging, understanding, as well as selecting the genre of music that is going to be more prominent. So for the party segments, the most dominant genre of music would be chutney and soca. Depending on the crowd, more soca, sometimes more chutney. And then to the end, we more go towards the love music, get people to sing, celebrate, and enjoy that intimacy
Yeah.
of a family.
Right.
So sometimes it may even be Bollywood songs they playing in the end with the English love songs that everyone loves. Rock and roll is also, that hit aspect. So you need to really address and understand how much of each genre you're going to play to address the crowd that is at hand, especially with the time. So the newer music, the older music, the classic hits, the Marshalls, the R&Bs,
Yeah,
etc. Brian Adams when you go back, Cyndi Lauper, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston. Those are some key artists and who belongs to the genre of music that people really love and would like to hear at least some point in time in a wedding.
Yeah.
When couples book, I mean, I'm sure they probably would have certain songs they may request, but how involved are they in terms of the lineup of music
Playlist,
selection? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that definitely. We have to factor that in a lot. So for example, now I hope I don't get bashed for this, but there's somebody came and said, we do want to hear no and why? We don't know. We just did not want to hear
Just
that particular
preference.
artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there's persons who would so for the bouquet toss, we want to hear this song. We want to shout out this particular person, our auntie who is very old and she's here to celebrate with us. She wants to hear this song. And your shout out make her feel special. So we now have to look at how we are going to play music.
Yeah.
Look at the timeline of the wedding. And of course these things go late.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have to pay close attention, look at the itinerary and see what it is we're going to play so that the music doesn't transition, a hard transition where you're going to
Yeah.
lose people. It's going to
Yeah.
be gradual. It's going to be very fluent in how we transition from genre to genre and song to song.
Yeah, makes sense. Us as videographers, when the party starts, Because that normally means our work done. In a sense. So, but there's been so much weddings that I've been to, and some you could tell when the crowd, this party lasted. If it reached an hour. Yeah. In times like that, is it that your mindset is, I need to carry this party to midnight, or is it like, all right, I have an easy night tonight, we going home in like an hour or so too?
Yeah, well, it's twofold. Something that I look at is the itinerary, and as well as try to understand or even ask the question, what time is lock off? Because some venues have a strict lock off time, right. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 12 p.m. Sometimes, and then I have to also understand the hours that I'm booked for.
Yeah.
So is it there's somebody coming afterwards, people before me? So when the crowd isn't responsive, I need to understand what can I do, or what can I say, or what are the elements of the wedding I can play off. So at some point in time, I might say, okay, well, we're going to get this party started. Spoke to them from the formal part into the party part. Not really great. Okay, what do I do? Call the bride and groom on stage, get everyone to take a picture, take a toast together, get the videographer and say, or the photographer and say, we're going to take a picture, everyone come in, just to get the crowd active, because all my efforts before
didn't work. So
it didn't work.
Right.
And once I get the crowd there, rely heavily on my DJ to really get them for the first 5-10 minutes. Once we get them and they're staying around, well then
right.
Party is party until they're ready to go home. Now, if the crowd is leaving, that's a whole different conversation where they might just mellow off the music. People want to hear what they want to hear. We try to address them and get at least who wants the party engaged.
Yeah.
Are you usually able to gauge that well, just like from meeting a couple and kind of understanding the expectations they have for their wedding day? Or is it still a gamble?
No, it definitely is a gamble. It's twofold. Okay. Sometimes you meet a couple and they describe their wedding, they put their guests and they say, okay, great, this is going to be a great wedding. Now when I reach there, it's about 10 friends who are ready to party and 90 persons just here for the food and here for the drink and here for the ambience. Then another factor might be kids at the wedding. Right. How you going to engage the kids? Because the kids want to dance.
Yes.
They just don't know how to dance.
As you say, is kids a hindrance, you think, when it comes to how you would...
That aspect of the wedding.
I think starting off this career path, yes. No.
Okay.
You kind of learned how
to deal with them.
Okay.
And then you use that to really engage their parents and their aunties and their uncles. So, a kid dance and they say, hey, what is your name? And my name is Ryan. Y'all make some noise for Ryan. Ryan, where are your parents? Bring them and that kind of
it's a lead into
exactly.
That's clever.
They come together, they record him, they take pictures, they pull him on stage, and when they pull the favorite nephew or the favorite niece on stage, everybody watching. They're paying attention to you. Yes. So that's a means of you getting to engage with them a little bit more.
Okay. Cool. So what's like, as it pertains to when we're talking about the wedding aspect and the party aspect, one song that never fails, that is like, for sure if you
once you drop that, you get in the crowd to move. It's a guarantee.
I wouldn't give one song. I'll give multiple across genres. So mid-party, people is going to sit down or maybe go for a drink. So we would try to time Marshall's song, Pop a Bottle.
Right.
It's a very celebratory song. It invites people to hands in the air, jump, hug up somebody they came with. You celebrating with the bride and groom. What are they drinking? Who had more than 2 drinks for tonight?
Yeah.
And pop a bottle. Hey. And that's a song that normally works.
Right.
Depending on the type of crowd as well. If it's a more slower time in the party where the music isn't as fast, just to take it from the slow part to the faster part, a good transition. I like to use, well, not me precisely, but the DJ is Ravi B. Rum is my lover.
Right.
People love to sing that at the top of their lungs. So that is high engagement.
Yeah.
And maybe later down to the party where everybody want to sing and be close to their family and still party and dance. Grab their wife, your husband and dance, the bride and groom, or even get them to sing. Backstreet Boys, I Wanted That, with the most cliche song ever.
Really?
But it works.
I guess people...
Yeah, it's actually one of my favorite songs growing up.
Right.
And then now it's like, oh, we're going to play that? Okay, fine. And then I have to find the energy to take that familiarity and just fed up of hearing it and then put that energy out to get people engaged. So definitely those are some songs, some
And
go-to songs.
I think
we
like
use.
songs that actually engage dancing. So like I don't know any names of these songs, so don't cancel me, but
I'll help you out.
Conga Line.
Conga line.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll go to, but we don't want to like start it too early.
Right.
Because sometimes the conga line is 5 people.
Right.
They hold on for
Yeah.
20 minutes and they hit conga line as the whole crowd on a train.
Mm-hmm.
You have them going in the car park, all on the road, and they're coming back around. But it's a good song to really get the party from being more dispersed to one area.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the Electric Slide.
Electric slide.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Strange enough,
But,
I can't do it.
So I was now gonna ask if you
I
actually
cannot.
dance with the people. And
Some
The Tanties, yes.
Some, yeah, definitely. Some of the dances I know, the dance hall dances, the ones, the love dances way back when. But electric side is one I don't know. I would just bounce on the spot,
Right.
pretend to do what they're doing
Yeah.
just to look uniform. But no one ever called me out on it except now. But now people might know.
Right.
well, now they'll pay attention.
They'll pay attention. They'll pay attention. But definitely, the dance type songs is also a good way to encourage the kids at the wedding too.
Okay.
You know, we pay attention to what's happening on TikTok and address them as well, and they would dance and they basically have a memory of you, you know, of that person who was there that really empower them to dance and have a good time when you know they were just there
Right.
bored
Yeah.
at the wedding. You know.
So the event finished, everybody getting ready to go home. What are some elements that you could look at the end of that says it was a successful job for you?
Well, as I say, experience plays a big part. So, in my first sets of jobs, you book me from 8 to 11, 20 past 11, I gone. I don't know
Right.
what's happening after. That's my time, I'm out. But as you grow and you mature, you understand that, you know, networking is a very important thing. So I would know if it is I'm the last DJ or the event is going to close, people normally ask you to stay and hang out.
Right.
So if that happens,
Right.
I know they had a good time and they appreciated my efforts.
Right.
Another thing is staying back also when the music is off and you're getting your jacket, your blazer, you're ready to go, you're picking up your phone. People would talk to you. Oh my God, thanks so much. It was so fun. I don't know what we would have done without you. So from the time I get those comments,
Yeah.
is I know people had a good time. People appreciated what we do and they enjoyed themselves. Another indicator of a successful event would be messages afterwards. Or you see a couple followers coming on Instagram or Facebook. They send a cute message. Oh my God, thank you so much. We have loads of them. So that normally helps me to understand what worked and what didn't work. But I don't think I went to events and got negative feedback. I think people just was more on the religious side.
Okay.
And they were very quiet and shy,
Reserved.
timid, very reserved. So that we just engaged them in maybe some
different-
jokes
yeah.
in different
Yeah.
ways. They had like a solo singer just coming to sing. So we asked him to sing a couple more songs, get the crowd to sing, and that was it. So I think understanding the crowd is very important. So even in those times where the vibes or the energy wasn't high, you could also allow people to appreciate what you bring to the wedding outside of that high energy and vibes and music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I
Because
think
I mean, just sitting down here and you talk, there's a lot of different things that you as the MC
Yeah.
has to pay attention to. Like
Yep.
there's
Yeah.
a process to this madness.
It is.
It's not just hype.
no, it's not. It's not. People, it looks like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, the jobs do get a very, very difficult in terms of, you know, when you look at the itinerary, bouquet toss, and the couple say their friends ready to party and bouquet toss. We looking for these young ladies to come and catch
Yeah.
the bouquet, and they outside in the car park, having a time. They're by the bar. They're still eating. They're talking to someone. So it's a lot of how are we going to get this crowd engaged
Yeah.
and really deliver on what we promise to be and do the job persons hire us to do, because the minute you get a little dose of that thought in your head, okay, well, this is not going good, it affects you mentally.
Yeah.
And early that's something I would have struggled with, but then in the end you'll find ways and look for ways to really get, you know, to push past that
Yeah.
small couple percentages of negativity.
Yeah, because essentially, I mean, you play a very big part in terms of the experience overall that
Definitely.
people
Yeah.
have from the wedding.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the main point that you could say that you know you had a successful wedding is if you get a tanty number at the end.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you play the older music.
Yeah.
You go back into the soca and Super Blue and the older chutney and even the love songs, and that is when they come out. And it actually is so funny where when I now start to get the crowd, I put my hand out and auntie, you could roll up this summer, or sometimes someone even take out my blazer because it's party time, and I would allow it because that's engagement for me.
Yeah.
I create a memory with them. They will talk about it next year for their anniversary. They'll talk about it over dinner. They're hanging out and they're cleaning up for the wedding the next day, and they spoke about it. Hey, this MC was good. The guy who was playing the music was good, because not everybody know what is an MC. So they would just say DJ. So. To create memories with people definitely is really good, and it's helpful to you and your brand as well. To create a loving, sentimental brand to your name, I think that goes a long way.
So when it comes to events, when you go there, it's a lot of attention, especially with the ladies and stuff. Are you single at events?
Well, yes, I would say so, because single sells, sex sells. So, when people are more inclined to interacting with you, that's a plus, versus when you're there and you have a girlfriend or even a boyfriend with you. People mightn't be so inclined to engage or even have a conversation, so they wouldn't be as responsive. At least that's my experience. And even my significant other, I tell her the same. She's also in the industry, and we try to keep an understanding. Nothing disrespectful or rude, but there's also a very thin line that showcases engagement and being disrespectful.
Right. Yeah, and that makes sense too, because at the end of the day, core engagement is literally what you need in this aspect of it. All right, so as it pertains to when you're preparing for an event, what are some expenses that you have to put out to actually be ready?
A lot of things factor into some of the expenses. So same way you guys have vendors, I also have vendors that I need to work with closely, because you can get bookings way in advance or very short notice. So when people, they spend their money to book a DJ and an MC, there's also a factor you need to bring, which is a very well-dressed person, a neat person. So you need to come with a haircut. You need to also have your clothes fitting properly.
Right.
Sometimes I'm tall, so I might have to buy a larger shirt to fit in terms of length and then take it in. Sometimes I might have these things there, and then when the wedding comes up, I might need to fix it or do all alterations. And then doing weddings, you need to have... Honestly, I believe you can't wear something twice, because all the attention is on you. People might remember. Chances are they will. So you need to always stay fresh, keep abreast of what is in style, what's trendy, and also determine what type of people you're going to address. If you could be fun and trendy, or if you need to be strictly formal. And then you also need to have that arsenal in your wardrobe to basically be prepared. So those things you have to keep shopping, stay stylish. So that's a big expense to us, as well as maybe the gas. Some far weddings. Yesterday I went to one in Cedros.
Oh wow.
An hour and a half drive from home and back.
Wow.
I could imagine. As you mentioned there, when you're talking about the different vendors, I think that's one thing we always harp on this podcast, is having a good relationship with whichever vendor you meet up with. And I could speak for myself as it pertains to MCs. It had sometimes we went and MCs weren't that welcoming, and then it had those that actually would. And you need to work together. And he said, okay, for example, like when you're going to probably do the bridal toss, the bouquet. Like I would know how I would need where the bride to be. So certain things like that, I would need to go to the MC and say, hey, can you make sure that the person is there? When we're doing speeches, sometimes people what's get me is when like they have an MC that if there is a podium, use the podium.
Definitely. For
some of them may be walking all over, and for coverage of videography, if my lighting is set up there and you are in the dark spots. So it always comes back to just having a good relationship with everybody. Vendor that you actually meet. So
I actually will take that note from you, because if that crowd isn't going too great, I might walk around. But if I'll pay attention to see, so that we don't butt heads in that one.
I hear.
It happens. Like you came to do a job as well, and you have your way of doing that, even if it
Definitely,
means moving around. There have been times we have, said, hey, not in the moment, but like when they get a break, hey, and explain to them and decide what's going on. Some of them just like, they ignore you.
No, I think it's also how you speak to people as well.
Yeah.
Instead of, you might tell them that and they might retaliate when they could, speak and say, okay, I understand. Yes, the lighting is there. Let's do the right thing and be professional. And I think professionalism is something that not everyone has.
Yeah.
Because if you and I didn't have a good network, I would not be here.
True.
I would have lost our opportunity to be on a podcast. And then, someone else would have taken the spot. So definitely relationships are very important, and even not just with vendors, but with the people as well.
Yeah.
People like how you perform, they like your act, they bring you someone in the crowd, might take your number, might take your social media and bring you for a birthday party, a boat ride, a formal event. Even so the relationships and networking is very important.
And that's the thing, people pay attention.
Yeah.
Just a couple of days ago, I was online and somebody responded to one of the posts and they were like, hey, I was actually at a wedding. I don't know this person, never seen them. I literally don't know this person. They were like, we were at a wedding that you guys were at. Y'all were really professional. So people are watching, they're paying attention to you constantly.
So let me flip the script now. How did you feel? Let me ask you the question. How did you feel knowing that you go to events, you operate in a certain manner, and then someone notices it?
I mean, beyond the people that hire me, real good, because you don't have that much engagement with people. We don't, guests and stuff like that. I mean, we will talk to them if we, around, but we're there to do a job, and we have to be kind of focused on that. Very different to your role in it, right? You have to be connected. But yes, so the fact that people actually pay attention and see is like, wow, it felt good.
Yeah, definitely. And I think having good relationships are very important. So, for example, as I said, you want to get a nice memory. For example, referring back to what I said before, pop a bottle. Real nice celebration song, hands in the air, people jumping. And I could use videographer, check us, and then get more people engaged. More people want to come for the picture and the photo. Right. And then, because you and I have good relationships, you will come, get the video, and that will even help me more because I am able to get more persons into that memory, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
True. Well, as we kind of bring this episode to an end, was some things that you really hate when it comes to some of these wedding jobs?
I have to answer that question.
Well, I think it's a nice way to end it.
Hate is a very...
Okay, what annoys you the most?
Okay. So what annoys me the most is when these family members who are slightly intoxicated wants the microphone.
Oh, okay.
But I am flexible. They want to sing while the song is going on. They want to say something big up so-and-so from Brooklyn, Great, no problem. But when you're taking it and you're moving away, a microphone is something very personalized where your mouth is there. So that's something that, gets on my nerves a little bit.
And not only that, like as you talk about the microphone, we were at a wedding recently and they basically had like the bridal party was singing a song and the groomsmen was singing. It's like a little game. But one thing you need to consider is the protection of your gear. I mean, I'm very of my gear. We know gear is expensive.
Very.
Yeah, and as one of the bridesmaids, she's singing, the crowd relates it, and I know she probably didn't mean anything by it, but the saying drops mic.
Drops mic. Oh,
so
no.
my girl singing as she
dropped the mic.
And the mic stopped working, and I watching the...
Yes.
No
way. Someone take the mic, and he... In the back, they're trying to sort of, you could tell he in a state, because... mic going through.
Wow. Nah,
wow.
I don't think I would ever disrespect equipment like that because I know the value of these things. Some microphone costs on the cheaper end and then more expensive and it's a lot. There's a big
either way,
disparity.
cheap or expensive is still a cost.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think dropping a microphone might be great. No, I know they're saying it's fun. Everybody gonna and celebrate, but I mean, cost factor. Hopefully they pay a little something extra to cover the microphone.
Yeah. So you was going to talk about some other stuff that annoys you?
Yeah. The weird requests.
For songs?
The songs requests is crazy.
I was gonna ask. So, I mean, you did touch on something in terms of like the flow. Like y'all are very guarded because you could switch up. You could literally throw off a crowd with, I guess,
you
the song
can.
selection.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Well, there's
requests?
some song requests that make sense. Okay, soca playing, it mightn't be the height of the event where you want to play DNA. You can touch a DNA, but it could fit in. So we might keep the bigger songs to hit when the party's in full swing, not when people still eating and stuff. So those things we could maybe play like an edited version, a refix or a remix. That's all well and good. Chutney's playing, the pop is playing, great, fine. But when we're in the middle of the party and people jumping up to family, you want to hear Neo and Ramping Shop.
What?
It's like, yeah, okay, sure, come and dress now. There's only one time we made a quick exception, is when the bride and groom said they love to hear Trinidad Killer, Gunman in Your Hole. We was like, okay, we're gonna stop, talk a little bit, and play it because they wanted to hear it really, really bad.
And I think if they ask, that could be like a segue. The bride and groom ask for this, so that way you could kind of...
Exactly, I could hype the crowd towards it. No, the bride and groom want to hear this. If y'all want to see so-and-so dance, y'all make some noise, y'all come in. And that makes sense to a point, but there's these cross genres, we play in soca and you want to hear Celine Dion. Like, I love Celine Dion, I'll play Celine Dion whole night to give me a chance. But it's just that, the flow of the party is very, very important. So while people think they want to hear this now, and 4 or 5 persons going to get a reaction, but the minute you switch up and then you throw off a vibe, now vibe is something, it's very intellectual to have a good time, You don't want to be partying and then you have about 10, 15 persons in front having a good time, and then we want to facilitate one person with one Bryan Adams. That's crazy. So we factor it in, yes, but it really, really gets me annoyed. Something that also gets me annoyed is when you're full vibe, full party, you're talking, wave your hand, jump, hug up somebody, and then somebody coming to tell you something in the ears. Great, cool. Once it's fine. I hear what you're saying. I make the announcement if needed. But then they keep coming again. That's crazy. It's like, now, as I said, relationships are important and there's a certain amount of professionalism you need to operate with it. So I wouldn't make anyone feel bad. I would just tell them, hold on, hands in the air. And then maybe go back to hear what they're saying, because you never know if it could be something important, like a vehicle needs to move. But then there's people who just really want to have a conversation with the MC.
Why the MC?
Why,
Wow.
But something else that really takes me is like, I'm on the stage or in the crowd with the microphone, and then they come in to tell me what song they want to hear. Like, I'm not playing the music.
Right.
So that's actually kind of funny. But it's also, it throws you off because, you have a job, you have to entertain.
Exactly.
So, that's a big factor into it.
And there's a way that's done. It's not just all in come and just playing random.
I'm not gonna play a Chutney song and then play a Marshall and then play a Bryan Adams. No, there's a flow. There's certain timelines that we need to also achieve to also deliver a good vibesy and add to the ambience,
Because you're taking it up and then it's different moods.
Yeah, it actually is. They actually said the correct thing. Up, down, that's normally a format we follow. Or if we're playing for a shorter period of time and we really want to hit the crowd and get it going, we start slow and go all the way up. But the speed at which we hit up is it depends on the vibe. So music normally has BPM, beats per minute. So in terms of most weddings, it's soca, chutney, and like they love music. So we try to start off with slow soca or slow chutney, build up into maybe pop. Then when the pop BPM gets faster, you're going to the faster soca, the faster chutney. Even if you could throw in a rap song, everybody hands go up, that could be a good song to get the crowd going, and then continue on with different genres, different songs, and then end on a high. Maybe if we end on a high and the crowd still wants to happen and still wants to party and the party's still happening, we could normally, go to the love music and just end with a memory, you are my and people fall for it every time. We love it. We love to see the crowd engaged and happy. So that's something, you factor in big to determine how your set is going to end, or even making way for another DJ to play. That's also very important.
Right. Okay. Right, well, we learned a lot.
Yeah, I did.
Because most of the stuff he's talking about, we aren't actually there by that time now. We already pack
No,
up
and by that
home.
time, we kind of like,
Yeah.
our brain is fried.
Yeah.
Because we've been working since morning.
This morning,
Yeah.
definitely. Because when I reach, you guys would be finishing up.
Yeah.
And then they're looking to tell all you, well, all you good? And you all gone.
Yeah, we're
Without a
good.
trace. You don't even want the lights missing.
Exactly. Because at that point, you don't need lights.
You don't need lights. No need for lights anymore.
Yeah. Well, Saurav, it was a pleasure having you on the podcast. I'll give you the opportunity to speak directly to the viewers, let them know your handle, so if they want to get in touch with you, so that, you know.
Yeah, well,
you can push that
definitely.
out.
It was a pleasure being here. Very interesting questions and lots of insights that you could catch on this podcast, as well as the ones before and the ones coming. So to check me out, I'm on Instagram at AgentSB7. That's AGENT SB7. So you guys can follow me there, maybe interact with me on Facebook, Saurav Balliram. I'm sure they're going to put my name down there for you guys to see. All right, so best wishes to everyone and best wishes to you guys going forward.
Thanks so much.
It was a pleasure. So, guys, don't worry, we're going to have more episodes coming. It's not just a one and done.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
And the lull was definitely Joshua's fault.
Yeah, basically, you can say that. I'll take the blame for that one. All right, guys, so we'll see you on the next podcast of Vows and Vendors.
Bye.